What's your name, by the way?
Hillman.
Hillman.
Yeah, like a hill and a man.
You mentioned the full name because a lot of people don't really know how to.
So the name is Hillman, Hillman, Achor Batuor.
This man right here is busting my brain right now, and I'm almost getting emotional. I'm getting attached. It's like I'm the one watching the interview, of course, which I'm the one supposed to, who's the interview. A lot of people want to know why you speak like a Nigerian, because a lot of and of course you also hold it in high esteem like you're a Nigerian, but you're not. Today I asked him to be my mentor, so if someday I fuck up, excuse my words, then he was the one that made me F out. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Africans TJ, and I'm here with one great personality that I really cherish a lot, and I want to emulate him every day, every time. I used to watch him literally like all the time. I see his videos, and every time I watch him, he kind of resonates my power to want to do this more and more. What's your name, by the way?
Hillman.
Hillman.
Yeah, like a hill and a man.
You mentioned the full name because a lot of people don't really know how to.
So the name is Hillman, Hillman, Achor Batuor.
Achor Batuor.
So that's the full name. In
Where you
Cameroon,
from?
it's the other way around. So I'm from Cameroon. So in Cameroon, the name is Batuor Hillman Achor.
That's nice.
Yeah.
He's a medical doctor by profession. In a
Almost.
week time.
Yeah, he always uses that.
Yeah, but in a week time, he's going to be a medical doctor. Like, real straight, I don't want to be out on the bush. So, like, what inspired your journey to study medicine? Of all the countries in the world,
Yeah.
you decided to study here in the Netherlands.
That's a good question. I did not choose it. It was not my first choice.
Wow.
In all honesty, when I finished high school in Cameroon, I had 2 scholarships: Germany, US. My mom was here, my sister was here, so it was ultimately cheaper for me to come here.
Oh.
Right? But when I came here, the goal was not to study medicine. My goal has always been to help people. Basically, that's the fundamental. So when I came here, I wanted to study AI, artificial intelligence. So I came here to study artificial intelligence. I wanted to make robots, make life easier for people. Then when I came here, there were no bachelor programs for AI. So I had to look for the next best thing to like enable me to help people. And everyone already thought I was going to study medicine in my family. All my teachers thought I was going to study medicine. So it was already my subconscious. So once the AI was not possible, it was just easy for me to like fall back on medicine. Applied, got in, and I'm here today.
Everybody knows that in the Netherlands, to study medicine, you need to take about 6 years or probably 5 years. But you spent 9 years in this journey, or 8 years?
No. So I moved in 2016, right? And then took that year to learn the language, integrate, get familiar with the country. Then started studying in 2017.
So you started studying from 2017? You started medicine
September, yeah. So I started studying medicine 2017, September, and I've been studying that for like 6.5 years now. It's normally 6 years, but I took a half-year break for mental health.
Was crazy. How's been the journey like?
Interesting. It's definitely been a roller coaster, especially like the last year of the bachelor's. So the program is split up into 3 years bachelor's and then 3 years master's. So the 3 years bachelor's is just like class work, theory in the university, and then the 3-year master's is like in the hospital rotations, just full on hospital. And the last year of the bachelor's was just like, it was an emotional roller coaster, like family members passing away. I lost like 3 family members in the space of 1 year. And like I lost them, had to graduate, then had to like, make sure my sisters were okay with like the whole loss and everything. So it's like a very challenging year. And like, like an African, normally I'll be like, just keep firing through. But I felt like I was not doing myself justice if I just kept firing through and not take a break. So then I took a half-year break just to like figure stuff out, get myself back in order before continuing. So it's been a roller coaster up and down. But I think now I'm finishing, I'm very proud of the journey, especially the last 3 years. Because it really enabled me to discover myself, discover what I like doing, discover what I'm passionate about, and also just believe in the possibilities that are there for me. Like not boxing myself up into any description or any bracket because you're this or you studied this, you should become this. No. If I have the passions, if I have the desires, if I have the talents, I owe it to myself to explore these things. I owe it to myself to just see what it could become. You never know what is going to become of it, but I know you only regret the things you don't try. So then that's what I'm doing now.
Anyway, if you're watching, you just have to subscribe to the YouTube channel Africans Today. Like, this man right here is busting my brain right now, and I'm almost getting emotional. I'm getting attached. It's like I'm the one watching the interview, of course, which I'm the one supposed to, host the interview anyway. So kindly like and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Africans TJ. The one behind the camera is PM Boache, my greatest friend. a lot of people want to know why you speak like a Nigerian, because a lot of Cameroon, and of course you also hold it in high esteem like you're a Nigerian, but you're not.
I'm not.
A lot of people also think that you're Nigerian.
Yeah.
And so if I could recall some of the questions that were asked when I told people that I was going to interview you and I, showed them your channel, they were like asking me if it's really Nigerian. And the second question is how easy or how difficult it was for you to integrate here and get to study what you are studying, because a lot of people also want to come and study here, but there's a lot of difficulties in trying to come here. One, because of the language barrier. Two, because they don't know how and the ways at which you can. So answer the first question, right?
Yeah, okay. The first question, Nigeria, I think, because I was posted on my TikTok, right? And just like that video where people were really vehemently denying that I'm Cameroonian.
Yeah.
At some point I just like, okay, you know what? I can fit both, because I come from the part of Cameroon where was at one point previously part of what is now Nigeria.
Oh.
Right. So like at some point the British and the French were like, okay, take this part, and then we became Cameroon. But previously it was part of Nigeria. So then it's like we have a lot of things in common. Culturally, the language, pidgin and stuff like that. It's the English part of Cameroon, so we have a lot in common there. So we grew up watching a lot of like Nigerian movies, Africa Magic, all those things. So we have the way of speaking their lingua franca, the small things we sound very similar.
To express yourself easily.
And I think it's also, I don't know, because I also have that a lot in Maastricht, where like I'll be talking with a Nigerian for the first time, and they're like, "Oh, you really remind me of home." I'm happy for you, but it's just the way I talk. Like it's just the way I talk, and it's similar because I think the geographical location.
Yeah. So he's not actually Nigerian. He's from Cameroon, and
unless some part of my ancestry was, because my village is right at the border. Like my village is the crossing between Cameroon and Nigeria. Like the cock is around my village. So then my village, like I can imagine my ancestors like had something across.
Because you also look like Nigerian, actually. If I need to add
what tribe would you give me?
I'll give you an Igbo. Honestly,
you're the second person this night who said that.
Yeah, he looks like an Igbo. Honestly, 100%.
I would not. Yeah.
And he speaks with this flair. Yeah, you should check his channel out. Please, your channel.
Yeah, it's gonna be linked in the description.
Of course.
Ox Legacy. _Legacy.
Yeah, because he has this. Oh my goodness, this guy. And it will be easy for him to get a girlfriend here, right? Quick, like he's a smooth talker. And when I watch him, he wants, like, I don't know whether he's talking to me directly, but I really want to do this more and more, because formerly I used to do this, but I became a bit reluctant to do it because I didn't really want my face all over social media and stuff. But watching you really inspired me. That's to add up to that. So the second question.
I think you're good at it, just for what it's worth.
Thank you very much. And today I asked him to be my mentor. So if someday I fuck up, excuse my words, then he was the one that made me F up. Yeah?
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So like you should hold him responsible, because from now on he's gonna be the one to tell me what to do and what not to do, especially when it comes to my growth here in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And future progress. And when I progress, he's gonna be the,
Okay, we have this video to watch back.
Yeah, of course. So to the next question, to those who are watching us back in Africa, who want to actually come and study here, I mean, what are the possible ways they could obviously get here and, study, and of course, maybe probably get admission here much easier?
Yeah, I think it really depends on the program as well, because if you're coming to study medicine here and your parents don't have very deep pockets, it doesn't make that much logical sense, because you have to come here, pay like 30,000 euros per year. Like medicine is the most expensive program to study in the Netherlands.
Wow.
So if you pay that amount of money as opposed to like EU nationals who pay 2,000, there's a very big difference. And if you can pay 32,000 to study medicine, you can pay that money in America as well.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with the language of learning Dutch, because you have to learn Dutch to eventually be a doctor here.
Which is going to be difficult.
It's like those things which, ultimately do not make sense coming here, paying that money if you're not somebody who has ties to the Netherlands. If you have ties to the Netherlands, which means you can afford the lower tuition fee, definitely recommend it. I think the medical program here is definitely, if I go back in time, I'll choose this over America or Germany.
Oh, okay.
Because I think ultimately you just get the space to develop yourself a lot more than just a medical doctor. Like you get to be the best doctor you can be as a person. Because it's not just about, if we all get the same degree, what differentiates you from me? That's the interpersonal aspect of it. And that's the thing that's going to make you the unique doctor. And I think you get that space here in the Netherlands, as opposed to in America or Germany, where you're just like, trying to be competitive and like be the best academically. But like, who are you as a person? Who is a doctor? So I think I would definitely recommend that if you have the ties to the Netherlands and you can afford it, come here. But as outside of medicine, there's other programs and other ways to study, like other cheaper programs, like biomedical sciences, international business, economics and business, law. Those are more affordable programs, like less than half the price of medicine. So then if you have like a scholarship, which are also available for these programs, but are not available for medicine, then you can study. Because the Netherlands is a great country to study. They have great programs. Maastricht University, they should bring an ambassador at this point.
I'm telling
They
you.
have really great programs, and I definitely recommend that for everyone. But especially for the masters, you have a lot more scholarship options. So if you really get good grades, like at your undergrad, because most of the time, unfortunately, they still look at your grades to like give you the scholarships. If you have good grades in your undergrad, you want to study a master's, more possibilities. You can get scholarships, good programs. And for the bachelor's, sometimes there are scholarships, sometimes there aren't. But regardless, the bachelor programs are also more affordable than medicine in the Netherlands.
So real quick here, somebody asked me a question in my comment section, like he was asking that if he studies like say a diploma or let's say an HND, and then the person wants to study a master's here, is it easier for him to study here? And how would his certificate be, changed for him to get admission here? And to the people who are already here, like I've got a lot of people who came here, they got their family here, but unfortunately at some point they decided to opt, because here it's about money. A lot of people come from Africa and they just think about the money. At some point they really want to get into school or something, study something so that they could actually earn some sort of respect among their peers. How do they go about their admission processes, and is it much easier? In which university in the Netherlands is it very, very easy for you to get admission? Once you,
I think comparatively in the hogescholen, so like the high schools, which are still like university programs, but then the Netherlands has that division. It's comparatively easier to get admission there compared to like universities, right? So that's always like a first step, and they mostly have cheaper options as well in terms of tuition fee. So that's always a cheaper option. But I think with regards to your point of coming here and making quick money and stuff like that, it's really important the environment you expose yourself to when you move to a country like this. Like the environment you move into can really show you the possibilities that are there for you. If you move to an environment where everyone is like hustling fast money, doing fabric work, then you start to believe that's the scope of your possibilities. You start to believe that that's all that is possible for you. You never believe you could be like an entrepreneur making billion-dollar deals in the Netherlands, which I think is a shame because those opportunities are there. We have the mindset, we have the drive, we have all it takes to be in those rooms, to do those things. But if you're never exposed to those things, you never even think that's a possibility. I was in Aruba and I was like in Hilton because I was the occupational health doctor, like the company doctor for like hotels there. And like sitting in the lobby and like hearing the amount of money that was passing at that lobby, I was like, myself 10 years ago in Cameroon, never believed I would be in a room where they're making $100 million deals, like right next to me. And I was like, there's nothing stopping me from being in that seat, making that deal. I mean, Aruba, I'm in this hotel, I'm the company doctor. Like, I could be the one in that, But it's like, if you're never exposed to those things, you never know the possibilities. I feel like I get a lot of people on my TikTok page who want to do stuff, who want to like improve themselves, but have no idea how to go about it. Like, they have no idea that photography is like a viable career path. They have no idea that videography is like a path where if you have the passion for it, you have the skills, you could actually make a lot of money. Because they have not seen it. And if you don't see it, your brain does not have the capacity to imagine something it's not been exposed to before. Sometimes it can, but most of the time it doesn't. So I think it's just a thing of you're coming to a country like this, expose yourself to what is possible. Like just search online, find people, allow yourself to be mentored by people who are doing something that you might want to do as well. Because that could really go a long way in showing what is possible. And then once you know, then you can start looking for the options of like study or whatever.
What has been your biggest culture shock when you moved here?
The biggest one for me was making appointments to see friends. What do you mean I have to make an appointment to talk to you in 3 weeks? Like I have to make an appointment to come by in 3 months. Now I'm the biggest planner. If you don't get on my schedule 6 months in advance, it's not happening. So it's like I've grown, when you live here for a while, you get used to it. And I think it's just the society is built that way. You cannot do without that kind of structure. But for me, when I came here and like my friends from basketball asked me to like plan to meet in 3 weeks, I was like,
you play basketball?
I did. I tore my ACL, so I couldn't play anymore. I was just scared to play.
No.
But I did play, yeah.
So you have to book an appointment to say, okay, apparently when I met him, when we were speaking, it was much easier for me. So I think I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But even with that, I still have to.
No, I think in my mentoring capacity, I do give people certain privileges.
Oh, okay.
So if you make it clear why you're reaching out to me, especially if you're looking for like guidance and stuff, and you're African, I'm more intentional with like planning that. But if you just me, hey, I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you in 3 months. So the time is precious. You know, I don't have the luxury of I have a lot of stuff I'm doing. So I have to be intentional with that as well.
And what has been the highest moment ever since you moved here?
Highest in terms of?
In terms of what has been that moment where you feel like, okay, I think I've reached that level where I feel proud of myself.
My highest moments. I don't think I've had a moment, and I'm not also the kind of person who really like banks on moments. Something good happens, I'm like, okay, great. What do we learn from this? Let's move on. But I think one thing that I definitely celebrate every day is interactions like this, like being in a space where I've had experience, because like, it's been a struggle for me the past years. Like, of course, I've had to like go through, turmoils and tough times and stuff. But like seeing that all those tough times, you're blessed so you can bless others. Seeing how all those tough times has put me in a position where I can be of service. Like I've met 3 people today who met me on TikTok and just met me today physically in Amsterdam for the first time. And like it's so cool having these interactions and seeing how you can be in a position where you're able to help people in their own unique journeys. Like you don't know, one conversation, you don't know how far it's gonna go. But it's like the fact that I'm in a position where, because of my struggles, I can continuously help people navigate their own journeys. I don't need to know how it's going to play out. I don't need to know how eventually they're going to like use that information and do whatever. But just the fact that I feel like every day I can contribute some small thing to someone's life. That for me is the highlight.
I'm touched, man. I'm really touched, and I like your energy. I like your flow. I like the content that you put out there. It's very inspiring. It's very nice. And I must commend you on that. How easy and how difficult was it for you to actually study the language and, of course, find yourself?
I mean, it was not easy, right? Because in the beginning, I was not trying to study in Dutch, but I eventually ended up studying my whole medical program in Dutch. That was just because my chances of getting into medical school were increased if I spoke Dutch and English, as opposed to just speaking English. So I went and fast forward. Instead of taking language school in 2 years, I took it in 6 months. So it was like really fast. And of course, you can imagine, I did not speak Dutch before I moved here. You do not get fluent in any language in 6 months, especially if you start learning at like an older age. So then in the beginning of med school, it was like tough. Like I had to spend 2 or 3 times the amount of time I would spend making a presentation compared to my Dutch classmates. People would like make a presentation in 20 minutes. I have to first learn how to use PowerPoint because I didn't know that in Cameroon. I went to boarding school, and my boarding school didn't have laptops and stuff. So I have to learn how to make PowerPoint first, and then make the presentation in English in my head, and then translate it to Dutch, and then make the presentation in. It was a lot of work. So it took me like at least 3 times the amount of time my classmates would take to like prepare it. But I think it's really the ultimate lesson for me throughout the process was you have to let your ego down. Especially as an African, like our egos are very massive. They're very present. And it's like if you're trying to like still give your ego the space to thrive, right? Trying to learn a language. It's very humbling. It's a very humbling experience. You come from a place where you're like very articulate, you can express yourself, to a place where you're barely trying to express the basic thoughts. It's like it's very humbling. And if you're not in a place where you can put your ego in its right place for you to learn, you would constantly hinder your growth. And I feel like when I realized that I was the one blocking my free expression in Dutch because of just the expectation to like perform as well as I perform in English.
And you don't want to also embarrass yourself.
Exactly. Who am I trying to kid? There's no way I'm going to be as fluent in Dutch as I am in English. It's not a realistic expectation for me at least. And the moment I let go of that expectation and just allow myself to like fail and make errors, like I could feel everything change. I go to the hospital and I'm talking and I'm not afraid to make errors. I'm like, I don't need to prove to anyone that I am Dutch native because I am not. It's just like you're trying to prove something that is not even true, And the moment I let go of that expectation, I felt like things just became a lot more. So it was not necessarily the learning language part. That you go like do the grammar, expose yourself. But I feel like the most important part is that mental switch. It's like allow yourself make errors and just allow yourself go through the process of like failing and learning.
What are your final words? Because that seems like a final words.
Yeah.
What is your biggest motivation for trying to go hard on your dreams? Because I normally ask people a lot about that.
Biggest motivation for trying to go hard
on your dreams.
I think I'm trying to show others who had similar background to me that you are allowed to dream. Like allow your dream be as nuanced as it is. Let your dream not look like anyone else's dream around you, but go for it. Like I am finishing medical school now and I'm going to be a doctor, but am I going to work as a doctor in the hospital? time will tell. But I know that I have a lot of talents, I have a lot of abilities which God has put in my heart, and I owe it to myself and I owe it to God who gave those to me to steward them rightly. And I feel like I just want to show other people that it's okay to have unique dreams, unique abilities, unique talent. And if you are persistent in like following those through, you can get to somewhere you're proud of yourself and you're proud of your own success.
Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of this conversation. You want to know more about this, you want to get to see such wonderful, incredible conversation like this with other people, subscribe to the YouTube channel at Africans TJ, and my name is yours truly at Africans TJ. Kasim Ahmed Tijani is the name, but you can always reach me out at Africans TJ. Man behind the camera is PM Boachi. Check him out on social media at PM Boachi.
He got dope photos.
Thank you very much.
You should check him out. You should check him out.
He's incredible. He's incredible. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.